Imagine being just 12 years old while everyone around you is busy playing video games. Instead of playing them, you're creating one from scratch and selling it for your very first profit. That curious boy would later build companies that transformed online payments, electric cars, space exploration, and artificial intelligence. But before the billions, before SpaceX and Tesla, there was a lonely kid who was bullied, misunderstood, and obsessed with learning. This is the beginning of Elon Musk's extraordinary journey. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. From an early age, it was obvious that he wasn't like most children. While other kids spent hours outside playing sports, Elon spent countless hours reading books. Science fiction, encyclopedias, technology. He wanted to understand everything. Sometimes he became so deeply focused on his thoughts that he completely ignored the world around him. His parents even worried something was wrong with his hearing. Later they realized he wasn't distracted. He was simply thinking at an extraordinary level. His imagination became his greatest strength. One evening, while playing outside, one of his cousins admitted she was afraid of the dark. Instead of comforting her emotionally, Elon calmly replied, "Darkness is simply the absence of light." It was a perfectly logical answer, but children didn't think like that. Many found him strange. Unfortunately, being different came with a heavy price. School was one of the hardest chapters of Elon's life. He was constantly bullied because he was quiet, intelligent, and socially different. One day, a group of students attacked him, pushed him down a staircase, and beat him so badly that he had to be hospitalized. For many people, experiences like these destroy confidence. For Elon, they built resilience. Instead of letting the world define him, he escaped into books and ideas. Every painful experience pushed him to spend more time learning. Without realizing it, those lonely years were preparing him for much bigger battles ahead. When Elon was around 10 years old, he saw a computer for the very first time. He immediately became fascinated. Eventually, his father bought him a small computer along with a basic programming manual. The manual was designed to teach programming over 6 months. Elon finished it in only 3 days. He barely slept. He simply couldn't stop learning. Programming quickly became more than a hobby. It became his language. At just 12 years old, Elon created a space shooting game called Blaster. Soon after, he sold the game to a computer magazine for around $500. Most children were earning pocket money. Elon had already completed his first business deal. As Elon grew older, he believed his biggest dreams couldn't be achieved in South Africa. The country leading technology and innovation was the United States. But reaching America wasn't simple. His first step was Canada. At 17, Elon left South Africa and moved there with almost nothing. Life wasn't easy. He worked different jobs just to survive. He cleaned places, carried heavy materials, and took every opportunity he could find. Those difficult years taught him something money couldn't buy: hard work. Eventually, he enrolled at Queen's University before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. For Elon, arriving in America wasn't the finish line. It was only the beginning. In the mid-1990s, the internet was still new. Most people found local businesses using printed phone directories. Finding restaurants, hotels, or stores often meant flipping through thick books. Elon saw a future no one else could. What if every business could be found online? Together with his brother Kimball, he launched a startup called Zip2. The office was tiny. Money was limited. To save cash, Elon often slept inside the office. During the day, he wrote software. At night, he kept improving it. Meanwhile, Kimball visited business owners one by one, convincing them to join the platform. It was an exhausting routine. But slowly, it worked. More businesses signed up. More customers arrived. Investors started paying attention. Soon, Zip2 received millions of dollars in funding and expanded rapidly. Only a few years later, computer giant Compaq acquired Zip2. The deal changed Elon's life forever. His share was worth around $22 million. At only 27 years old, Elon Musk had officially become a millionaire. Many people would have retired after earning that kind of money. Elon had a different plan. For him, this was only the first level. While studying and working, Elon had noticed something that bothered him. Banking was slow. Sending money took too long. Everything depended on paperwork and physical branches. He believed the future of money belonged on the internet. So instead of enjoying his millions, he invested nearly everything into a new company called X.com. The idea sounded impossible at the time. An online bank. Remember, this was the late 1990s. Many people didn't even trust shopping online. Convincing them to trust digital banking was an even bigger challenge. So Elon came up with a bold strategy. Every new customer received free money for signing up. Users also earned rewards for inviting friends. The campaign spread like wildfire. Within just a few months, hundreds of thousands of people had joined. But there was one problem. Another startup was chasing the exact same dream. Its name was PayPal. Instead of destroying each other in an expensive competition, the two companies decided to merge. It seemed like the perfect solution. But no one knew that this merger would soon become one of the biggest turning points in Elon's career. The merger between X.com and PayPal looked like a perfect victory. But behind closed doors, disagreements were growing. Elon believed the company should continue under the name X.com, while many employees and executives preferred PayPal. They also struggled with his intense leadership style. Elon expected people to move fast, solve impossible problems, and constantly improve. While some admired his vision, others found it extremely difficult to keep up. Then came the biggest surprise. While Elon was away on his honeymoon in Australia, the company's board voted to remove him as CEO. Imagine building a company from the ground up, only to lose control when you weren't even in the office. For most entrepreneurs, that would have been the end, but not for Elon. Although he was no longer CEO, he remained the company's largest shareholder. 2 years later, in 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share earned him around $180 million. Once again, he faced a choice. He could retire before turning 30, or he could risk everything one more time. He chose the harder path. After PayPal, Elon wasn't searching for another business. He was searching for a mission. As a child, he had loved science fiction and dreamed about space. One question kept returning to his mind. Why haven't humans gone to Mars? The more he researched, the more surprised he became. No one seemed seriously focused on making humanity a multiplanetary species. Most people saw space exploration as impossible. Elon saw it as necessary. His first idea was simple: buy old rockets from Russia. But during negotiations, the prices were unbelievably high, and the sellers didn't take him seriously. On the flight home, while everyone else felt disappointed, Elon opened his laptop and started calculating. After studying the numbers, he made a bold decision. Instead of buying rockets, he would build them himself. It sounded completely unrealistic. He wasn't a rocket scientist, but he believed knowledge could be learned. So he immersed himself in books, surrounded himself with top engineers, and founded a company called SpaceX. Building rockets was far more difficult than writing software. Every launch cost millions of dollars. Every mistake could destroy years of work. In 2006, SpaceX launched its first rocket. Just seconds after liftoff, disaster struck. The rocket crashed. 1 year later, they tried again. Another failure. Then came a third launch. Another explosion. 3 consecutive failures. By this point, SpaceX had burned through nearly all its money. Many experts declared the company finished. Investors had lost confidence. The media predicted bankruptcy, but Elon refused to quit. He believed every failure contained information that would make the next attempt better. Still, another problem was quietly growing. His second company was also running out of time. While building rockets, Elon had also invested heavily in a young electric car company called Tesla. At the time, most people believed electric cars were slow, ugly, and impractical. Elon disagreed. He believed electric vehicles could become faster, smarter, and more exciting than gasoline cars. But creating that future required enormous amounts of money. Then the global financial crisis of 2008 hit. Investors disappeared. Cash dried up. Tesla was approaching bankruptcy. SpaceX was also close to collapse. Both companies were weeks away from failure. Most entrepreneurs would have saved one business and sacrificed the other. Elon made an entirely different decision. He invested nearly every dollar he had left. He even sold personal possessions to keep both companies alive. Friends warned him that he could lose everything. He accepted the risk. By late 2008, SpaceX had enough money for only one final launch. If this rocket failed, the company would disappear forever. The countdown began. Everyone watched in complete silence. The engines ignited. The rocket climbed higher. First stage separation, successful. Second stage, successful. Then, finally, confirmation appeared. Falcon 1 had reached orbit. History had been made. SpaceX became the first privately funded company to successfully send a liquid-fueled rocket into Earth orbit. Only weeks later, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion. One successful launch had completely changed the company's future. At nearly the same time, Tesla secured emergency funding just before running out of cash. Both companies had survived, against all odds. Tesla continued improving electric vehicles. The launch of the Model S proved that an electric car could be beautiful, fast, and practical. Soon after came the Model X, Model 3, and Model Y. Millions of people around the world began switching to electric transportation. Meanwhile, SpaceX kept breaking records. The Falcon 9 dramatically reduced launch costs. Reusable rockets made space travel more affordable than ever before. Then came Starlink, providing internet access through thousands of satellites orbiting Earth. The company also began developing Starship, the most powerful rocket ever designed, with the long-term goal of carrying humans to Mars. But Elon didn't stop there. He launched Neuralink to connect the human brain with computers. He introduced xAI to compete in artificial intelligence. He acquired Twitter, now known as X, with the vision of transforming digital communication. Whether people agreed with his decisions or not, one thing became impossible to deny. He wasn't following the future. He was trying to build it. Elon Musk's journey wasn't built on comfort. It was built on rejection, on bullying, on failures, on criticism, on sleepless nights, and on taking risks that almost everyone else believed were impossible. His story reminds us that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about refusing to let failure become the end of your story. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need perfect conditions. You simply need the courage to keep moving when everyone else decides to stop. Because the people who change the world aren't the ones who wait for the future. They're the ones who create it.